Welcome to the last part of Houston Kold's I'm in Godzi video. Today we're going to be finally finishing off the video. Let's check it out. Alright, so now that we're in Davinci, we're going to come over a couple frames. You're going to see that there's no text on the screen, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. When the text comes on the screen, that's how we know we made it too far. So I'm going to drag this fusion clip out to where the text is off the screen. I'm going to cut it up, and now we can pop the color to navy, and we're gonna make another fusion clip. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna disable this guy just for a sec, see what's going on, and we're gonna make it easy on ourselves. We're gonna start the fade a little bit late, but it should be okay. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to copy and paste this node, or this fusion clip. We're going to change the color yet again to a new color, and maybe we'll do yellow. All right, so now we're just gonna finally finish this off. We're going to drag this out to the end of the video. So let me zoom out a little bit and drag it to the end. And now we're gonna jump into the Fusion page yet again. We have all this junk on the screen that we don't need. So let's jump into Fusion. We're going to actually start getting rid of some more stuff that we don't need. We'll keep the black background, even though I don't really think we need it. We will get rid of this background with I'm in B-roll. We don't need that anymore. We don't need the Instagram stuff. We don't need the text here. We don't need these image planes. We can delete out the... Actually, that might be it. That might be all we can get rid of. We can get rid of these. Save it up. Control S. And now let's put the second merge on the screen. Let's put the first merge on the screen. So now we got both of them, and they're looking to be the same thing. So something is making it so that way the opacity is not there. So let me just come look at this real quick, make sure the text doesn't come back on the screen. The text doesn't, but we'll replace this text with the new text, so we might keep that for a sec. What I am going to do is I'm going to rearrange all these nodes. I'm going to bring them up in the node flow, and now I'll zoom in, and we're just going to see what's going on here with the image. Maybe it's not in the viewer anymore, so that's exactly it. We need to come to 168 global in and out, and then extend this to the end of the clip, and probably do the same for the text. So we'll come in here 168, extend it to the end, same thing here, already good to go because it's an instance. And we'll just disable the text for now because we don't need to see that on the screen. It's quite distracting. What we are going to do is we're going to change the opacity of this guy. So we can start to change the visibility. We can click a keyframe on opacity, get rid of all the old ones. So we just have one, and now we'll start moving forward, and this background comes in right about here. We'll change the opacity to 0, and that's when the new screen comes in. So I want to make sure that there is a new screen below it. And so I have one picked out already. You can go ahead and select it here. It's the TV stand. This is the closest thing that I could make to this scene with AI. So now we'll grab the image plane, the transform, and we will just bring that above right here, connect our media out to it, and now connect this to our merge. Now we're going to bring merge 2 back up on the viewer. So we'll bring merge 2 up on the viewer, and we're just going to make it to make sure that this is in frame as well, from 0 to 244, which is good. And we're going to adjust this so that way it is behind our image right here. So we'll go ahead and just adjust that, make sure everything is the same. We need to make sure the opacity starts coming in. So this value should be 1 on this image, and the first value should be 0. So I'll go ahead and I'll set this image behind the other one. I'll take off all these existing keyframes. I'll come to the frame where the opacity comes in for this one. We're just gonna make it so it's behind our other image. So it doesn't need to be too far behind. It can be negative 4.1 or so. And then we're just going to bring in another transform 3D. On top of that, that didn't work. Transform 3D. And now we're going to start adjusting it just so we can see the TV in the screen. We want this more towards the center of the screen, and that looks pretty good. Let's see how it starts coming on the viewer here. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to come in and rename this TV, and we'll bring this up into viewer 1. All right, so now we're gonna mask out this TV. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it up onto both viewers just so I don't get confused. And we're going to bring in a polygon node. You're gonna connect that to your TV, turn it off, and now we're just going to make an outline of the TV screen. This is gonna be where the Iman clip's gonna be. And you can just make a rough outline because we can go ahead and adjust the points later if we need to. And so we're just gonna do this nice and quick. Come in here, make an outline of it. Click on the handles and you can adjust them to change them like I said was talking about. And we'll just do the same thing with this one, and maybe we'll just even close it up. Nope, can't close it up. That would not be a good idea. Let's see if we can add in another point here. So we'll do right here. We'll close it up right there. All right, so that should be pretty good. We'll go ahead and we'll re-enable our polygon node. We're going to invert it. That's going to create a blank space in the TV. So now we can come in and grab our clip of Iman, which is this guy right here, and go ahead and position this behind the TV. So I'll hit F2, I'll type in Iman life, and now we will hit shift space, transform, and just adjust this so that way it's in the center of the TV. So we're gonna actually put this in the background. So I'm going to just hit Control T on this merge, and now it's in the background. And now I just need to figure out kind of where everything is positioned. So we can come over to this merge, and now we can adjust it so that way Iman is in the TV. So bring down the size and come in here and scroll down, bring down the size some more. Just make it so he's in the TV, you can see him. Do whatever size you want, center him up. All right, so that's what we're going for. Let me just make sure he stays in frame. Cool. So now we can actually move on and we can come bring this into our viewer. Second merge, and now we have a little bit of a mess going on here with this image. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to adjust this guy right here. I want to make another merge for this. So we're going to have this have a background. So we'll bring in a background and we'll make the alpha value all the way down, and let's see what that does to our merge number 2. So our merge number 2 is now more centered. We're going to put this behind the TV. So I need this in front. So I'm going to disconnect this for a second. I'm going to connect this to our foreground right here. Bring this over here. Bring our background over here. This over here. And just stick our TV in front. So now we should have something like this. It should be more lined up, even with the merge on the screen. And now we're going to start playing around with the camera. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring up the video on our first viewer and take a look at what's going on. I'm going to start fading this out. Let's see, we already did that. So now I'll just tweak the camera in here so that way it's more at an angle. So I'll set some keyframes at the first frame of this clip. I'll delete all the other ones and let's see what we got. All right, so now we just got the single keyframe on the camera and we're going to come forward. And we have kind of like this twisty zoom where it kind of evens out right here. So we'll start to rotate the other way and we'll start bringing in the zoom more, and then the same thing all the way through. It starts rotating in this direction and it just gets more and more tilted as we go, and we'll just zoom in fully. We'll kind of position the camera a little bit different and we'll get ours nice and close. Since we have a different image anyways, it doesn't really matter. All right, so now we're gonna add in a new color corrector after the TV. So color corrector, and we're just gonna make this one towards the red side of things, and it's not gonna really adjust the middle there. We'll work on that in a little bit. And just make sure you adjust all the different settings to make it look exactly like how you want it to look. Play around with the contrast, play around with the gain, the lift, the gamma, brightness. All right, so we're gonna make it nice and dark. All right, so we got something like that. I'm cool with that. We also need to add in a color corrector for Iman. So do color corrector, and we're just gonna make him a bit brighter in here. Maybe we'll play around with the contrast or the saturation. Let's see. Play around with the gain. Just want to make him brighter. So maybe we'll even throw in a glow node. So I'll throw in a glow, and that seemed to pretty much do the trick. So that's kind of what we were looking for this. And we'll just bring it down so that way it doesn't really glow as much. But now I'm pretty content with that. Now we just need the text in here. So I'll come in here, I'll add in the text, and it's going to be a similar thing to what we did earlier a couple videos ago. And I'm actually just going to delete these text nodes and we will start fresh. So let's come over here and we are going to add in our text. We'll add it in on top of our other stuff, so we won't need this. I'll save it up real quick. And I'll bring in our text right up here. So let's grab a text node. I'll bring it in, merge it in, and now let's type in what we need. So online courses, all cap, online courses. We'll change the font to Babis New. We'll bring the center value down. Kind of try and center it on here, maybe adjust the Z value a little bit. We'll change the size of the text. All right, so now we're going to come into the text. We're going to make a copy of it. We're going to connect it to our merge. Whoops, not our image plane, our merge. It doesn't seem to want to connect. We'll move this stuff over and we'll connect it to our merge. We'll connect our merge to our image plane. And we're just going to set a rectangle mask on the two of these, and we'll make another one after we're done setting this one up. So move this to the side where it only displays online, and now copy and paste this node over here, connect it to our text, and click invert. Now if we bring this up on the screen, you should be able to see its courses, and now we can bring merge to back up on our screen. So now we have the online and courses, and now we can come in here and we can adjust the level value. So we'll start right here, since our video is a little bit different, we will change this to 0, come a couple frames forward, and we'll start to make it show online all the way. And we'll do the same thing with this guy, where we'll come a couple frames forward, set it to 0, a couple more frames forward, set it to 1. We'll smooth these out, Control A S, and now we're gonna have something like this. And then it's the very same thing with communities, except communities comes in at the same exact time. So we'll just space it out since our animation's a little bit further, and we're just going to copy and paste one of these nodes, because that's all we need, and we'll merge this on in here. And I just want to reset up everything so that way it's more organized. So I'll come over here, adjust everything, give us some space, just this. All right, so now we'll come in here and we'll change to and communities. We'll start to fade everything else off the screen. So we'll change this. We'll make it so that way there is no rectangle mask because we don't need it. We will keyframe the opacity to 0 right here on this frame, and we'll come a couple frames forward and we will just set it to 1. All right, so now we need to actually make this fade off the screen. So by the time that hits 0, I want to make it faded off the screen. So we'll come into our text nodes, and I will come to the rectangle, and we're just going to set a keyframe on both of them. And it looks like there's some sort of off the screen right there. So we'll start making it right about here. We'll set it on 0, set it on 0. Now we'll come in, I will smooth out all these keyframes. Same thing with this one, smooth them out. And I think we did that backwards. So I want to make sure that it is off the screen, not on the screen. So this is going to be 1, this is going to be 1, this is going to be 0. All right, that's also 0. Okay, so that's 1. Both these are set to 0. Nope. And now we need to adjust the top here. Nope, it's already set to linear. It auto corrected itself. Okay, nice. So now we can come in here and we can just take a look at this. We don't want the text going with the screen rotation, so we can actually even come in here and adjust all this text stuff. And I'm just going to disconnect it from our pipeline, and we're going to bring it down into our other pipeline. So bring it over here, and I'll connect this merge first, this stuff, bring it over. All right, so now we're just going to make sure everything's centered on the screen. So come into all your text nodes and clear it by clicking on the center over here and set them all back to 0.5. That should bring them into the center of the screen. It looks like we're going to need to adjust the font size, make it a bit bigger. So we'll just go ahead and adjust that to maybe 0.1701. Do the same thing with the one down here. And now we will zoom out a bit, see how that looks. And we'll do the same thing with this guy down here. So we'll adjust that to 0.1701. And now we got something like this. Make sure everything's smoothed out. And last couple things, we can now go and add a flicker to the end of our node flow. So just type in flicker and hit the flicker addition. And now you can just adjust the speed to whatever you want and just change all the settings inside to get it exactly how you need, and come out something like that. Looks pretty good. All right, and if you're looking to get these particles in your video as well, it's just an overlay. So you can type it in on Google, particles overlay, and look for something that you like. I got one right here. and we can just add this into the node flow and just bring it up on the screen so you see what we got. And you got something like that. It's nice and small. We're going to want to make it bigger, and we're also going to want to make it an overlay. So bring in a transform node and just scale it up so it fits a bigger part of the screen. We're going to need to manually adjust this number and get something like that. Now we can change this apply mode from normal to something like screen, and maybe bring the blend down quite a bit. Can even make the particles smaller themselves. Change the color of them, rename them particles. Whoops, I keep spelling that wrong on accident. That's just a mistype. And then bring in a color corrector, and you can literally make them whatever color you want. You want the particles to be yellow, you can make them yellow. We'll bring this merge up on the screen, and you can literally just change the color to exactly what you want. You really just can't see them because the blend value's down, but we're going to keep the blend value down, and we're just going to bring in maybe something like white, something like that. So yeah, now we can check out the finished product of the Houston Kold video that we've been working on.
This is Iman Ghazi. He's a 24-year-old YouTube millionaire who is notoriously known for his online courses and communities.
And yeah, that's it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see next time in Davinci. And YouTube's going to recommend you guys a video to watch next. It's going to be either up here or over here. You're going to like one of these two videos, so go check them out.